We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday night Homestead Update, Grumpy Acres Farm. You'll notice I'm by myself tonight. Angela was not feeling that well. In fact, she was asleep up until about 5 minutes ago. So she said she might get up and try to eat something. So we might see her wander through a little bit later. It's nothing too terribly bad. She just had a headache, and so she was taking a rest. Let's see who's in chat tonight. We got Starla was in here first. Rose, girl, I hope everything's going really well for you. The Terminator, Scanes. Who else showed up? Oh, Len showed up. Len popped in. I'm not here by myself in a sea of estrogen. Hey, Tiger. Hope everybody's week went well. Well, it was a interesting week here at the homestead. I told you the story last week about my aunt passing away. Well, we had her. Well, it wasn't really a funeral because I think they cremated. We're going to cremate the body, but we had a visitation and a service yesterday. That's the big news on the homestead. That's the big event that we had, and it was bittersweet. She was a very unique and loving person. Only person I knew that was in the World Weekly News that I knew personally. Hey, Randy. Lifelong dance teacher. Lots of people showed up. First time I got to see a lot of people in the family in about 5 or 6 years. All the little kids were growing up. The most special thing about it, though, my sister and her husband came in. My daughter flew in with her daughter, and my son came up with his family, and we all got to spend a little bit of time together, even though it wasn't a funeral. We went out and ate afterwards, and just it was great having the grandkids sitting on my laps and crawling on me and just running around being monkeys and getting to meet other people in the family. It was a nice ceremony. The guy that the preacher, I guess he's a pastor, not a preacher, but the pastor that did the ceremony is the same guy that did the ceremony for my Uncle Ed, who passed away 12, 15 years ago. But that was my Aunt Margie's wife or husband. Sorry. And it was a nice service because he brought back a lot of good memories about Uncle Ed too. And think about it. The thing that really was wild about the whole situation, love seeing all my cousins. So there's 26 grandkids on my dad's side, and my sister is the youngest one, and I'm the next youngest one. She's 10 years younger than I am, and she is literally the same age as some of the kids that my cousins have. But I was always the little kid growing up, and now all my older cousins, and man, everybody got old. I don't know how time flies like they did. And all the kids were growing up. Didn't even recognize some of them. I had to play it cool and listen for somebody to say their name before I could put a name to the face. It was just it. We used to be a really tight knit family, and we used to do all the family get-togethers were always over at my grandma's house, and her and my Aunt Margie and her family lived in a small duplex, and we used to stick like 40 people in this little tiny living room. And if you were a kid, you always had to sit against the back wall, because if you needed to get out for something, you could crawl underneath the table. And then as we got older and bigger, they started shunting us down to the basement. I'm sure some of you guys sat at the kids' table too. Ours just happened to be in the basement. It's a mixed blessing waking up on the right side of the grass, on the green side of the grass, or whatever, however you want to put it. It is a mixed blessing. She was my aunt was in a lot of discomfort, a lot of pain towards the end, and she's in a better place now. My cousin was telling me about the last night when they took her home, and just touching her was excruciating for her, and she was screaming at him because it hurt so bad. But she wanted to be at home and got home and passed away. And I don't know if I told you this last week, but she was a huge butterfly fan, and she passed away on National Butterfly Day. You know, and I'm to the point in my life, I've had so much happen in my life, like just the last 3 years, I don't believe in coincidences anymore. There's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And I think it was just I think it was just meant to be, right? Well, everybody that's saying sorry for the loss, you know, I do appreciate it. Like I said, she's much better off than she was the past 3 or 4 years, and it was for the best. And everybody, it wasn't unexpected. Sure, there were some tears, but you know, we celebrated her life. She touched a lot of people. Lucy says that they had their Thanksgiving this weekend and had all the kids and grandkids together. Lots of fun and games with beautiful, cool weather. Yep, that's the weather story around here. It's turning cold. In fact, it's supposed to be below freezing tonight. And I actually went out and wrapped the fig trees up like I was supposed to, so we don't lose them. Did some last minute harvesting. I got about a half a KitchenAid mixer bowl, you know, the medium-sized mixer bowls that they have on the KitchenAids. And I got about half a bowl of that of cherry tomatoes that are just so sweet and so delicious. There's still a ton of them out there, but they're all green. And I'm not sure after tonight if it freezes for a couple of days, you know, it's going to be a loss of those. But most of those tomato plants that are in the 2 beds I was picking from are all volunteers from last year, because we had the same thing happen last year. Yeah, we will miss her. Starla. No, there's another country heard from. No. You going to get something to eat and go back to bed? Okay. She's feeling a little dizzy. She doesn't take care of herself. But she's going to try to get something to eat. Let's see what I missed. Let's see here. Going through here. Skane says make some salsa verde with those tomatoes. She just turned her nose up. I don't think anything sounds good to her right now. But you know, it's supposed to be 29 degrees here tonight. And I'll be honest with you guys, I am not ready for the cold weather. Seriously. I was just getting comfortable. It was really hot, and then we had about 3 weeks of really good, not too terribly hot weather, and now it's going to be freezing. And I've only got 2 cord of wood cut this week, or right now so far. So we're going to have to do a work day and have people over to get some wood cut. We're doing a work day for wood cutting. But so okay, get your ravioli. But so we need to get more wood cut. I got to get some more hay over the house for the animals once it starts getting cold. Yeah, even though it's cold, my greenhouse pepper plants are still growing and producing flowers. I'm going to go out. I finally closed the greenhouse up yesterday now that it's getting cold. It was so hot this summer that it was like 130 degrees in there, 120 degrees, and everything was dying in there. So we had to pull stuff out. And so I'm going to put stuff back in. I'm going to clean all the beds out, and I'm going to see if we can't get some winter greens and stuff growing. Skane says, I'm in Kansas winter training. Since it was in the mid-40s this morning, I opened all the doors and put on shorts and a t-shirt. Yeah, the days of 40 degree weather are probably not very long here in Kansas anymore. You know, you're gonna get up here and it's gonna be below freezing, and by January we'll be well below zero at times. But you know what? It keeps the riffraff away. You got to be a special kind of hard-headed to come live in the cold here. You know, I think the only person that probably got harder than us right now is the Terminator. up there in the Great White North. But it's all good. It's all good. The weeds are dying back. It's not going to take as much to take care of the property. Let's see. Mr. G, you have more than me. We only have 1 cord of wood, so hopefully this weekend we can have our wood done, but in the next week. Yeah, that'd be nice. How many cord do you go through, Lucy? How many cord of wood do you go through in the winter? We, on average, go through about 7, and that's using a lot. We could get by with 6, but the last 2 years we used 7 because we kept the house extra toasty, if you know what I mean. Hey, Dorothy. No, there's Dorothy. No, that's Starla. You guys are moving too fast. Scanes has been in Kansas City in the wet weather in the winter. Okay. Oh, my AM walk is going to require a coat. In about 3 months, tomorrow's weather will seem great. Oh yeah, it'll be nice and toasty when it's in the 60s, won't it? Yeah, it's crazy. Joseph G showed up. Please continue to pray for me. My life is absolutely wrecked right now. Well, Joseph, you know what? Go out there. There's a song that's been sitting on my mind for the past 2 days because of the funeral. And that's a 6 a.m. did a song called "Life Is Beautiful," and go listen to that. It'll I don't know. It always seems to do right for me whenever I'm feeling like that. But 6 a.m. for anybody that doesn't know is Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue and AJ. Oh, AJ, what's AJ's last? Anyway, they started a band and made an album off of Nikki Sixx's Cocaine Diaries book. But it's a fantastic album. It's a great song. In fact, it's on my list. It's when I pass away, I'm going to leave a list of songs I want played at the funeral, and that's one of them. Of course, I won't know. I'll be dead. I'll be doing other things. Let's see here. Been praying for Starla's been praying for you. Hoping everything's holding up. You know what? And everybody, it does get better. It honestly does get better. You know, at some point. Oh goodness. Let's see what else went on this weekend. We had a community meeting, which was very interesting. Some Indiana Mike and his wife asked everybody to come to a meeting. It was kind of a bring your own dinner type of meeting. We had it at the new community building on Tag and B's property, and it's not finished. The inside's not done, but it's going to be a really nice building once it's done. And so we went over there and we were talking about community preparedness, not individual prepping and not individual preparedness, but how as an entire community, we can do things to ensure that the entire community thrives if something happens. And we went over the PACE, the acronym PACE, which is primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. And the best way to think about this acronym is each one of those letters stands for a lifestyle, the lifestyle you're living. So your primary lifestyle is the one that you're living right now. Your alternative lifestyle is when things aren't quite right, you know, and something's happened and you're not living like you were in the past, you know, in your primary lifestyle. Contingency is when something really bad has happened and you have made a major change. And then emergency is like full on SHTF, the balloon's gone up and all that stuff, right? Okay, guys, hang on for 1 second. You guys keep talking chat. The dogs are barking at something. I need to get them in because I don't want them running off. Okay, so give me 10 seconds. Hey, get in here. Come on. Okay, I'm back. So either either the coyotes were out across in the field or the deer were out. But anyway, either way, the animals felt that they should not be there, so they were barking up a storm. And that's the guy that grew soybeans across the road cut the soybeans down, and the deer and turkeys have been out there. In fact, we've got a second flock of turkeys in the neighborhood. We've got one that's got about 30 turkeys in it, and it's a bunch of hens and pullets. And then there's another group that's got 2 hens and about 8 pullets. So, we've got over 40 turkeys, and there's some toms running around here someplace because I hear them every now and then. But I personally haven't seen him. Angela said she saw him the other day. Oh, goodness. Yeah, and that's another thing. Hunting season's coming up. In fact, we're in full-blown archery season here in Kansas. Hey, Potpourri, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope everything's going well for you. So that's another thing we're preparing for is got to get ready for deer season. I know I've said it the past 2 deer seasons I was going to get one. I'm getting one this time. I'm getting a deer this season. We're in the process of getting the commercial freezer cleaned out. That's been an odyssey. Have you guys? I know I've mentioned it before how we lost power and the dog's been eating. We're almost to the end of the food. In fact, Friday I'm going to be able to pull it out of the outbuilding and power wash it and sanitize it and get it ready to take stuff in, because that's the big plan for next week, which I'll share with you what we're going to do. I'm going to put down a sheep tomorrow and dress it out, split it, get it into a cooler on ice. And then Saturday morning, Darren, we invited everybody in the community that wants to learn. We're going to have a hands-on sheep butchering class. And I usually don't film a lot of the stuff like that when they're here at the house. I'm going to see if I can't make sure that we get some really good footage for you guys, because Darren is literally going to give community members the class that he and Billy give at the festivals, like at KSL. So it's going to be really good. In fact, Darren's actually writing a chicken butchering book based on the method that him and Billy use, which is really cool because you can stick 60 chickens into the top of the top and bottom freezers. You can stick 60 chickens in one of those freezers if you do it this way. So that's the thing. So we'll butcher one. I'll put one down and dress it out tomorrow. Get it on ice. Saturday we're going to stop. Saturday we're gonna kill and dress another one, put it on ice, and then Darren is going to butcher the one that I do tomorrow. Hey, Dolly, get away from the door. Go. But so yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting evolution of training there. And then back to the community meeting. So we identified a bunch of stuff. I would suggest to everybody that has a community of any sorts, even if it's just 2 people, that you get together and you take a really good look at this PACE acronym. John Lovett over at Warrior Poet Society is the one that he did a video recently and that got them on it. But do a really in-depth evaluation of where you are, and then identify key areas where you need to work. We looked at our overall strategy, and everybody felt that communications was where, as a community, we were lacking the most, which is I voted for communications as being the big thing, because if you can't communicate, you can't coordinate, and if you can't coordinate, you can't help each other, right? So do this. In fact, I was doing the full spectrum preparedness series a couple of years ago, 1.5, 2 years ago, and I think I may get back on that, because it's a great way to, cat, I'm going to throw you outside. Stop. The little tabby cat digs her claws into me. I don't mind her when she's on me and she's not doing it, but she jumps on you and starts digging her claws in, trying to get comfortable. And then she's trying to jump up on the table. But so I may start doing that full spectrum preparedness thing again, because there's a lot of good information. We identified 10 areas of preparedness that you need to be concerned about. In fact, I've got a Excel worksheet around here someplace. I need to dig it out and run it, and I may post it up so you guys can download it and evaluate your properties. We were developing this worksheet for whenever Angela was being a real estate agent, where you could plug in the information in this worksheet and it would tell you how prepared, how good a piece of property was prepared and what you needed to work on. It gave you a rating of 1 to 10 on these 10. 0 to 100 on these 10 areas of preparedness. But it's something we all need to start thinking about. I did that live Sunday night, that little 10-minute live. If you caught it, the whole reason I did that was exactly because of what we talked about Sunday night. It was kind of weird that I had been thinking about that. Sam Russell posted a short Sunday morning, and then we had this meeting on community preparedness. And it's again, there's no coincidences. Things happen for a reason, right? And there's a reason why that was on my mind and on my heart this weekend, because it's important, So if you walk away from tonight with thinking about anything that you need to do, a call to action, look at your community preparedness and start thinking about it. The stuff that went on that's going on in North Carolina and Florida and Eastern Tennessee, it's a wake-up call. That's a real wake-up call, and everybody should be extremely tuned into what we need to do. Rose, I didn't say hi to you when we came in, did I? I don't think I did. I did say hi to you. I hope everything's going well. You're still in New York. I saw in the chat earlier. But Darren Hacks talked to Billy this weekend, and so anything I'm about to say is secondhand knowledge, but I'm going to be able to capture the main gist of it. They are not reporting how truly bad it is in North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. They are not reporting it. They are not reporting the death toll. In fact, if you watch the news or listen to any news, they vaguely talk about it, but they are not reporting how bad it is. I have heard, not from one person, but at least 2 other people that are on site there, say that the death toll from this may be greater than 9/11. And there will be people that will never be found. Entire communities washed away. So, and then the other one is the amount of contamination that's going on. In fact, somebody very reliable said that there's actually nuclear waste in and around some of the areas because a nuclear deposit site got washed away. So they've got radioactive waste washing down the river valleys. So, and again, like I said in that live, if you don't have help coming from outside the disaster area, what are you going to do? Imagine if something had happened nationwide and this happened to people, and all those people that were stranded up on the mountains had to fend for themselves, right? Did not have somebody come in and cut them out, cut their roads out. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos from some of the people up there, but there's walls of cut wood 10, 12 feet high on either side of the road because it was like Darren described it as pickup sticks is the way Billy described it. Okay, Starlet, your daughter's boyfriend's family is from Western North Carolina. We already know how hard it is, and the government is lying. Yes, the government. Here's something I was thinking about this morning. You guys remember how harshly George W. Bush was treated when they took that picture of him flying over Katrina in New Orleans, and he was just excoriated, and the government was there providing help within 72 hours to Katrina, and everybody said that that's not enough. It took a week. Hey, get away from the door. It took a week before full-on government assistance started arriving, and it's been lackluster at best. It's been counterproductive at worst at times. And they're getting a pass on it. And this just reinforces the fact that, or not the fact, but it reinforces the idea that the powers that be in this country, the media, big tech, all these companies are working in collusion with the government to be deceptive to the people, to deceive people. They don't want people to know the truth. And they flat out lie about things. We see it on a daily basis. So we need to start, that's why I'm always talking about double checking and triple checking information and doing your own research and figuring out what the truth is in the matter. If anybody has the money to get a subscription to Ground News, I would highly recommend it. It used to be free. Up until about a year and a half ago, it was free. And what Ground News does is it rates where the bias is in a news report. So, you've got stuff that's pretty neutral, you got stuff that's left leaning, and you got stuff that's right leaning. And it tells you which papers and which media outlets are biased in any direction. So you can get a good feel of what you're looking at. If you've got the money for a subscription, I would highly recommend it. I used to use the heck out of it when it was free. Hopefully someday I'll have the money to get a Ground News subscription, but it's just not in the cards right now. Jezebel's husband owns part of the lithium and quartz mining. Is that Starla? Is that a Kamala Harris you're talking about? Starla, it's here. Let me type it in for you. That should get you to the website. Oh yeah, there's shenanigans going on. There's shenanigans going on. Blackwater and Vanguard have the contract for all the government insurance claims for all the houses that are damaged. Vanguard and BlackRock are also going in once they find out what's damaged and what's not. They're also going in and trying to buy up everybody's land. Hermit Hill Homestead, nice to see you. Just got to say you had some great videos this week. Thank you very much. On the topic of the disasters over the past week or so, we are all that close to maybe a similar situation. Oh yeah, we were talking about it at the last night at the funeral. One of my cousins has a house down on the beach in, is it Homestead? I don't know. So it's like water, sand, a park, a row of houses, a road, a row of houses, a canal, and then another row of houses. So he's I guess that's called third tier in the parlance. But their house was on third tier, and they actually had to fly back this weekend to go back to their house, and they lost all their appliances and all their furniture, and they had stripped all the drywall about 4 feet up to get all the water damage out. But my cousin said that you could look across the canal, and the houses on tier 1 and tier 2, you could see all the way through them because they were hit so hard. It was nothing left but frames on that. And then was talking to somebody else, and they had a family member whose house got hit by a tornado in Florida. You know, and tornadoes aren't something that people really think about in Florida, but up here, you know, they're kind of a way of life during the spring and late fall. So yeah, you never know. You never know when something may change, you know. So and Hermit Hill, I do appreciate the compliment on the videos. That, you know, I'm trying to provide you guys with good content that gets you thinking and informs you and you know, gets everybody nominally pointed in the right direction, you know. Because let's face it, government's not going to come to save us, and we are responsible for our own futures, period. You know. All right, Rose, hurry back. We'll miss you. Okay, she's gone. Talk about her. No, Rose is good people. Rose is good people. Miss seeing her at Midwest Preparedness Festival. You know, anyway, so that's basically what's going on around the homestead. You know, I'm thinking more about preparedness, trying to get ready for the winter, trying to get stuff done. You know, cleaning up more in the outbuilding. Finally got a place. Talked to Tag on Sunday, and finally going to get our solar panels over here so I can start working on getting them in place. Angela did a ton of canning Saturday and Sunday. She made a bunch of apple pie filling, and then we got about, oh gosh, I'd say probably 25-30 pounds of nectarines. And so she made a bunch of nectarine jam. She juiced them all because they were on the downhill side of being ripe. And she made some nectarine jam. In fact, she was complaining yesterday that she couldn't move her hands because they were so sore from tightening the lids. She bought a new KitchenAid. Hey, what's up, Rabbit? She bought a new KitchenAid, and it's one size bigger than what she's got, and she got a apple coring attachment that goes on it, and it's so effective. You know, because in the past we had one of the little hand ones that you clamp to the counter, and you had to sit there and do this to get it. And she was coring apples at the rate of about 5 or 6 per minute. Can Squatch, I'm doing it myself. There's enough expertise in the community that I can do it myself. Just ask people for assistance, you know, and guidance to help me do everything I need to do. I've got the batteries, I've got the solar panels. I need to get the inverter and the charge controller and all the cables, and then I got to build frames for it and I'm putting them up on the roof. Everybody around here is saying, no, don't put it on the roof. Yeah, Rabbit knows absolutely zero about solar. Don't ask him. He doesn't know nothing. Fibber. But I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna be a small backup system. It's not gonna be a primary for the household. One of the things that I was talking to Angela about is like, look, we don't have the money to build a full on system, so we're just gonna do stuff to run the standard stuff. Okay. Everybody says don't put them on the roof. Here's the deal, Starla. I don't have the room to put them anyplace else. You know, I can't run. I don't want to run underground cable all the way across the yard. I'm going to put them right on the roof. The roof is low enough that to maintain them, I can get up on a ladder and I can actually get the snow off them from the ground with a long enough pole. So I'm gonna do that. They're up out of the way. They're secured. Building a frame. Oh my gosh. Unistrut. When did Unistrut get so expensive? I don't know if you guys don't know what Unistrut is. It's that angled metal with the holes in it so you can run nuts and bolts through them. They're like $26, $27 for an 8-foot piece now, and you used to be able to get it for like $2. It's insane. But so one of the reasons why I insist on not running the air conditioner is so that we get used to being uncomfortable. Period. That's basically all it is getting used to being uncomfortable. You know, because that's going to be the thing that hurts people the most. They're not going to be, you know, Rabbit. I thought about doing the treated lumber, but I would really like something that lasts longer than lumber. And it's just it. And I may go with lumber for the simple fact that I need to get it done, and it's less expensive. But I would really like to do Unistrut just for the security. We get pretty high winds through here, and I don't want to run the risk of wood breaking in anything. Treated lumber with epoxy. Okay, what do we got here? I fell off our roof a couple years ago doing storm repairs. After 3 weeks off work, my wife, my kids, and even my head of my HR at work banned me from getting on the roof. Well, that'll do it. Oh, I found the best drink, guys. Squirrel. This is a Scanes moment. This is a squirrel moment. So a small bottle of Sunny D and half a can of LaCroix sparkling water mixed together is an awesome, very refreshing drink. Okay, back on topic. Yeah, Starla doesn't use AC or heat, and we're not. We didn't run the furnace at all last year. We did the stove. In fact, that's one of the things I did Saturday morning. I was up. Actually, Saturday, I got up in the attic during the day, and it was so stinking hot. It was like 130 degrees up there. Every time I stood up and accidentally put my head against the roof, it burned me. It was so hot, and I was up there for about 20 minutes. I put one package of insulation down. I was like, screw this, I'm going to do it. So Sunday morning I got up and I was up there at 8 o'clock, and it was so stinking cold up there I could see my breath. So I've got to figure out how to reclaim some of that heat and that cold up there. Yeah, Virginia, I thought about that, but I was like, nah, I don't feel like any alcohol in the last couple of days. My son just got us all the metal to put up our roof next week. It'll be on, so we don't have to shovel our roof. Awesome. That's great. Okay, the lumber will last a lot longer than you think, Grumpy, and you can buy Unistrut a little at a time. And there is that. I don't know. I'm just gonna see. I got to get them over here and then start saving up. I'm not going to put them up until I got all the parts and pieces I need to get them up, and then I'm going to worry about a frame. No heater all last winter and set record lows. Yep, we had some record lows too. By the way, Virginia, it's good to see you. It's always a joy having you here. Let's see here. As for cleaning the panels on the roof, Home Depot has squeegee things that will extend to about 24 foot. So friends of ours run an online company. Let's see here. I think it's, hang on a second. Let me see what it is. I'll post it. If you are looking for extension poles, Mr. Long Army, they actually have contracts with Disneyland and Disney World. These things are so good. They ended up, they are the exclusive distributors of this. The only, the company decided that they were going to quit doing small outside sales. So they basically sold the rights to do that part of the sales force to friends of ours. And so if you want these telescopic poles, and they are fantastic, they are extremely, extremely durable. In fact, I use one as my 2 meter to hold up my 2 meter antenna. They're so sturdy. But you can get them. I think the longest one they've got extends up to about 35 feet. It's for changing light bulbs in gyms and stuff. But yeah, you can get them there at that MrLongarm.com. But yeah, but I got up there Sunday and I laid the rest of the insulation. So I added another R19 worth of insulation to the attic above where the second bedroom is going to be, and over the bathroom and where the utility room is going to be. Or not the utility room. It's going to be more of a storage / mud room type of thing. So you can come in from outside and leave all your dirty stuff right there, and then go through the side door into the shower. But so yeah, so that's the thing. And we were talking about different ways we could grab that. I know in the summertime it gets extremely hot up there, so I got to figure out how to manage that. And I think I'm going to have to buy an attic fan and install it so it blows out the east end of the house. There's a big vent up there, but it's old and basically inoperable. So I got to figure out what to do there. And then in the wintertime, I got to figure out if it gets hot enough to maybe run a tube up there and maybe reclaim some of the heat. Have a 12-volt fan blowing air through there and collecting the heat that's in that attic space during the day and blowing it downstairs. Oh my God, it's snowing. It's snowing where you are already? Man. When I was younger, I used to love the snow. And anymore, yeah, it's just it's a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. Let's see what else. I think I covered everything that we did this week. I think I did. Yep, that's it. Hey, how's it going? What is it? I don't have my glasses on. I can't tell if that's M&M or M. But welcome, new faces here. Oh, Wild and Free. There's another new face. Thanks for joining us. Wild and Free. I've thought about doing a mini split in the old part of the house when I rehab it. We're gonna see. Angela bought a couple of little mobile air conditioning units that you can put on the windows. She used one in the kitchen this summer when she was cooking, because it got entirely too hot in here to cook, because she's making meals for other people and stuff. So I thought about it. We're gonna see how it goes. There are people tag over at Life Done Free, uses mini splits on his house. He's completely off grid, and they do a fantastic job. But he built his house, so he doesn't have to run them very often. Seriously. And I'm going to try to do that in the back of this house, and we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. It's always an option, right? Tambra showed up. Hey, Tambra. Let's see here. What Rabbit say? I would say that you need to get the inverter unit and charge controller mounted, and your batteries hooked up to the inverter right now, Grumpy. Get a charger for the voltage system your system is running. Yeah, I gotta get those parts. There's other things that take precedence right now, and hopefully I'll be able to get them by the beginning of the year. Hopefully I'll be able to get them. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Okay. So we've been talking about updates for 45 minutes. Let's talk a little bit of agriculture news. Angela found a story today that is, I'm going to use the term interesting, but it's interesting for all the wrong reasons. And it's illuminating for all the wrong reasons. Okay, give me a second. Let's see here. Present, share screen. So have you guys heard the story of Pure Prairie Poultry out their headquarters in Minnesota, and they had a processing plant in Iowa? All right, let's see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Oh my goodness. Let's do that. Okay. So, and don't let the headline turn you off because it mentions PETA. So Pure Prairie Poultry has a processing plant in Iowa, and they basically contract out growing chicken. I don't know if you guys know how the broiler chicken industry works. Hey Gregory. Basically what happens is these companies contract out people to raise the chickens, and they pay for all the feed and everything, and then the contract growers send the chickens in to the processing plant, and they process them. That's basically how it works. All right. So this Pure Prairie Poultry has 1.6 million chickens in their system, and their processing plant in Iowa went tits up and basically shuttered. They couldn't pay for it. So for the last month, and the whole thing about them starving the chickens, because these people weren't getting paid, and they basically locked the chickens up that people had sent in to be butchered to starve to death, or they just left them sitting on trucks out in the sun to die. And the contractors in this story here, and I'll tell you what, I'll put the link in the chat. The story here talks to one of the growers, and they weren't getting money for feed, so they couldn't feed their chickens either. And because of the way the contract was written, they could not sell the chickens to anybody. So they put out a call for anybody that wanted broiler chickens to come and get as many chickens as they wanted. And yeah, Rabbit, that's part of the story, is the chickens that were locked up to starve to death started eating each other. But this is the story here. The story here goes back to what I talked about in a preparedness video about control points. So the processing plant is a control point. It's someplace where if somebody gains control of it, or something bad happens, the whole process breaks down. Yeah, Tambra, Angela's not feeling well tonight. She had a headache and she didn't eat all day, and she just taken the night off. She came in, wandered through looking really rough, and got some ravioli, and then went back to bed. And so she's in there taking a rest. Yeah, and Lynn says he's in Iowa, and he's never heard of the story. And the place is in Charles City, Iowa. I have no idea where that is. I have no idea where that is. The headquarters for this company is in Fairview, Minnesota. Fairfax, Minnesota. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. One of the reasons that this problem exists is because they got a USDA loan to build the facilities, and they could not make the payments. And so, okay, Lynn says that's in north central near Minnesota, up by the border. You know, so this is why we continually talk about food independence. You know, there are 1.6 million chickens out of the food system, just like that. And you add on to that, I think Nebraska, as of June, they had culled 4.8 million chickens. Maybe it was July, but they had culled 4.8 million chickens out of the system. They're talking here in Kansas of killing flocks because of avian flu. You know, so it's just it's something that we need to be aware of, because chicken prices are going to go up just like everything else, and so we need to work towards this food independence. And part of the food independence. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. Turn this right up. You guys can go check out the link. It's up in chat. But part of the food independence is getting your community together and sharing. See, and here we go. This is a hard conversation to have, because if you say it wrong, people start thinking that you're talking about communal living and socialism, and I'm not. I'm talking about free exchange of goods and services, right? But your community, you know, the people in the community that are growing chickens should be able to provide chickens for people that are unable to grow them, right? So, and same with produce, milk. You know, we got Milk Lady. We got Milk Lady here, and she provides. I think as of last time I was talking to them about it. They've got about 4 or 5 families in the community that buy milk from them. You know, and in turn, they're able to use that money to go do other, you know, get things that they need. Rabbit says we have a lot of chickens, turkeys, and eggs here. Tyson is big. Yes, Tyson is one of the huge employers in Missouri. You go by and you see the great big turkey farms as you drive around the state. Ken says he saw a story of milk prices going up. That's not good. Gregory, they're going to make it so we can't even raise our own birds. You know what? Yeah, you know, become ungovernable. If raising chickens makes you a criminal, then be a criminal. That's all I got to say. If raising your own food makes you a criminal, raise your own food. There's not enough law enforcement in this country to stop everybody from growing their own food. In fact, Bill Mollison, I actually got a t-shirt design that you can go over on our bonfire store and get. And Bill Mollison made the comment that if only 10% of the people in this country became food independent, the entire big ag system would crash, because it would take so much money out of the system, right? So become a rebel. Seriously, if that's what it means, then do it. Let's see. One says there are more chickens and more pigs here than people. When something happens in either market, it's big news. Yeah. Well, and honestly, Lynn, 1.6 million chickens in Iowa may not be that big a drop in the bucket for the locals. You know, the only reason why I saw it was because Angela was actually listening to the Ag Report on one of her channels up in northern Kansas, up by the Missouri border, and she heard about, or no, it wasn't. It was the local news here, but they were talking about it on the local news. So, let's see. Rabbit says he needs 50 prepper peeps, 54,000 each, and we can buy an old Ozark nudist resort, 234 acres right up next to the lake, community ready. Well, that would be That would be a cool thing, dude. You could be like Pastor Joe Fox and create your own little shofar redneck shofar mountain. You know what? I think I know what you're talking about. Not that I've ever been there, but everybody that had property down at the Ozarks knew about the nudist resort. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. You see all the white feathers all over the side of the, yeah. Or you're driving behind them and the feathers are blowing out the back of the truck. It doesn't bother me one bit to become that when the time comes. Zero. M wants to know how much it's going to cost to decontaminate it. Nudist preppers? Question mark. Hey, Cody Lennon was like one step away from that. Dude was always walking around barefoot. Outdoor men. Hey, good to see you here. Seeing lots of new faces, man. Welcome aboard, guys. Welcome. These updates aren't really, we talk about the farm, but we end up talking about other things, ag news and politics and other things too. So welcome aboard, and I hope we keep you interested. Let's see here. We're actually working on it right now. Okay. Oh yeah, I know exactly where that is. Cool. That is neat. You got to keep us updated on that, man. Yeah, Hutch runs around barefoot all the time too. The only thing the colony needs added is a laundry facility. Yeah, it's kind of unnecessary back when it was a functioning resort. Gregory wants to know if they went bare butt broke. You guys are on a roll tonight, man. You guys are on a roll. I want to turn the big dining hall into a longhouse. There you go. Rabbit's going to have his own Viking longhouse. Be out there in the middle of the apocalypse, people passing away and Rabbit's sticking them in John boats and pushing them out in the lake and setting them on fire. Oh, it already has a laundry facility. Oh, did I miss? Oh, there's another one heard from. How's it going, Mr. Zeg? No, the owners are, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that going on down there. In fact, that's the reason why we gave up our spot at the place that we were at down there, because the owners retired and sold it to people. And, it started out as a family orientated little hole in the wall type of place. These people redid there was like a little area down there. They built a diner bar / thing and started inviting all the big cigarette boats, and they had people coming down and thievery started and people smoking weed all over the place. Not that I'm against that. It's just you got it. You should be a little bit considerate of other people. These people weren't. Let's see. The nudist colony had a big dock, huge in-ground pool, several buildings, and the main house could be used for community kitchen, bath, medical facility. Man, Rabbit, you've been putting a lot of thought into this, haven't you, brother? You're I know what you're doing. You're trying to wiggle it so you can become a post-apocalyptic warlord on the lake with your big compound and all your people. See, got you pegged, man. Got you pegged. Oh, nudist colony and pegged is probably not a thing. Words that should be in the same sentence, right? Okay, go watch Billy. Is Billy live tonight? Oh, tribal warlord. I apologize. No, but getting back to the whole food independence thing. I think Gregory mentioned earlier they're going to try to make it so we can't grow and stuff, and there is a concerted effort to use the process, regulations and stuff to keep people from becoming food independent. They want people to rely on the government because that's how they control them, right? And this is, this is another thing with that story with the Pure Prairie. Had they not gotten into bed with the USDA, who says their fortunes wouldn't have been different, right? Anytime you do anything that allows the government into your business, it gives them a hook, and they will take more and more of your flesh as time goes on. Oh, goodness. Oh, what else was in the news? Or what else? Has anybody got any topics they want to bring up? I like post-apocalyptic warlord. I like the ring of it. Politics wise, it's been some crazy stuff happening. I don't know if you guys heard this. North Korea started blowing up bridges that connect North and South Korea yesterday, and it was so alarming that South Korea was firing warning shots across the border at North Korea. And then North Korean troops are reportedly fighting in Ukraine now. They had people there as observers and engineers, but they're actually doing fighting according to some sources out of Ukraine. And I'm listen, guys, seriously, if I talk about the Ukraine war, there are no good guys in that story. There are none whatsoever. The only thing that interests me about this, I'm like Trump. I'd really like to see the fighting stop and people stop dying. But the thing that I find interesting about it is the how U.S. military equipment is handling combat. That's really the only thing that I'm really paying attention to. So I'd really like to see it stop, but if it's going to go on, I hope our stuff does good, and I hope we learn a lot about it. Leonard wants to. Oh, Len, no, because if you use Among Us, you gotta wear the little leather shorts with the leather suspenders and the mask. That's not a good look, man. This is not a good look. U.S. troops on the ground manning air defense. What could go wrong? Okay. Here's the story behind that, HG. So they deployed the radar system for that air defense system years ago, and American troops have been running that ever since. There have been U.S. troops there. They just deployed the missile component of that system, and I cannot remember what the name of the system is, but it's part of the THAAD, the high altitude air defense system. That's the Patriot, and the I think the Hawk 2s are still in that group, but they deployed the missile portion of that. So the U.S. troops being on the ground is not a new thing, but I agree with you. What could go wrong? They have a way of screwing things up, don't they? Oh, did you guys hear this on the political front? Joe Rogan may be interviewing former President Trump, and I also heard that if the invite goes out to Trump to visit Joe Rogan, then the invite will go out to Kamala Harris to visit too. That could be very interesting. Both those interviews could be very interesting, and if Trump goes on Joe Rogan, Trump will probably, how do I say this? I'm going to say, okay, he will probably win the election. Now, what winning the election looks like after 2020 is anybody's guess. So winning is a relative term anymore. if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm telling you, Randy, I think it would be golden. He was on Trump was on another podcast. Oh gosh, what's the guy's name? The guy with the little pencil mustache, dark hair. Trump is confirmed. Harris probably won't. Well, thing is, Joe Rogan hasn't confirmed it yet. At least not that I had heard of when I left work today. Joe Rogan has not confirmed that an interview is going to happen. Trump this weekend said yes, I would go on there in a heartbeat if Joe Rogan asked me to. You know. So yeah, and Joe Rogan is on the record of saying he didn't want to have Trump on his podcast because he did not want to give the impression that he was taking sides. You know what I mean? He wanted to try to stay neutral in the eyes of his viewers. If Kamala did do it, would Joe make sure to use earring jamming devices? You know, it's funny that you talk about that. There's some really good arguments being made that Joe Biden is trying to tank Kamala Harris's campaign. I know you were talking about Joe Rogan there, but Joe Biden is purposely trying to tank Kamala Harris's revenge. And knowing what a dirtbag Joe Biden is and what a crazy person his wife is, I would not be too terribly surprised if that weren't the case. I mean, think about it. Think about the way it transpired. They got Joe Biden to drop out of the race, and the first thing he did was turn around and say, I think Kamala Harris would be a great president, and I back her. And what that did was it forced Obama's hand. That's why Obama didn't say anything for about 3 days, but it forced their hand, because how do you, at that point with your the liberal constituency, how do you replace a black woman on the ticket without just completely upsetting your entire voter base? Yeah, Joe Biden hates Kamala Harris. Okay, we're gonna back up one comment and one topic. In all seriousness, this is the address if you want to take a look. See, 5492 Black Elk Lane, Stover, Mo, 65078. Skanes and Tamara could wear the pirate outfits even. Yeah, and you know that's actually a really good. Well, it's got its plus and minuses because it's close enough to Sedalia that if society hasn't collapsed, you've got a big, medium-sized town that you can go to, and actually, it's a city, a good-sized city that you can go to and do some shopping. The bad news is it's pretty close to a town, so if the apocalypse comes, you're going to be dealing with a lot of tourists coming through your area. Let's see here. Joe pushed Kamala to screw everyone that pushed him out. Yep, and then he walks around. I'm sorry, the whole wearing the Trump hat thing, writing it off to dementia, genius screw you move. I cannot believe he did that. And then he's gotten out the whole whenever Kamala Harris was trying to look presidential and trying to call Ron DeSantis, Joe Biden came out and says, like, yeah, I talked to the governor of Florida. You know, so I think he's doing it on purpose. I think they are being very low key about it. I do know from Joe Biden's history that he is a very petty man, and this would not be beneath him. So yeah, there's politics in this country. Just people lost their ever-loving minds. Seriously. You're close. See, and there you go in the summertime down there, going down to Osage Beach and do some shopping. There's a couple of outlet malls there. At least there used to be. I don't know if there are anymore. Got a little entertainment area down there. Joe has pressers at the same time Kamala interviews. Oh my gosh. And they get to tell everybody it's because he's got cognitive decline. But like I said in that video on Friday, I think it was, maybe it was Saturday, I don't know. But Maybe it was Sunday, Monday. I don't know. They all run together. You know, the shenanigans are going to take place. We need to be ready for it, and we need to figure out what we're going to do if they happen. You know, and it's a very serious question, and it's a very serious topic. And I will say this: if they allow a repeat of 2020 to happen, if it happens and they get away with it, our liberties are going to be attacked and very likely come to an end. Maybe not in my lifetime, but it will be the end of the American Republic, and it will go down as the point in time, much like whenever Caesar became emperor, it will be when the Republic starts its long decline. Let's see. Gregory says Joe has a list of things he wants to do before he leaves, and none is good. Yeah. You know, naked search for power just is so ugly, and brings out the physical ugliness of the people's insides. Seriously, and that's what we're looking at here on the on one side of the political spectrum. You know, oh, there's a Rescue. Hang on a second. Rescue did a live the other day, and I'll share this video with you. I'll show you the link. Tucker Carlson did an interview with Harmeet Dillon, who is a line in the sand premiering only hang on. TCN. So he did a interview with Harmeet Dillon, who is a Republican pundit / lawyer from San Francisco that has known Kamala Harris, you know, not as a friend, but as, you know, somebody she ran into for about 2 decades. And she laid out the complete history of Kamala Harris's political start and how she got where she is. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the poultry one. Hang on. Okay. Boom. Okay. Click on that. And it's going to start. I got to stop it.
We're coming to the finish line.
Come on, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. There you go. So there's the link to the there's the link to this video I'm talking about, and it's about an hour and a half interview that he does with her, but it is a really well done interview, and she's very well spoken, and she lays out the complete history. And I knew some of the parts of the story, but she puts it all together, and man, the picture you have in your mind and the picture that's the truth are completely different, and the truth is way worse than whatever you're thinking. Seriously, that's how bad it is. When you finally start hearing the details. So I would recommend, if you got an hour and a half to spend, you're doing some work around the house or anything like that, go ahead and listen to that video and hear what she has to say. Now, I don't think it's going to change anybody's mind that's in the chat, but it might give you some information to share with people who are on the fence or who are hardcore believers and need to have the truth given to them. You know, so you guys do with it what you will. All right. Well, let's see. You guys got any other topics you want to talk about? We talked about the military aspects. Tiger says she watched that interview. Yeah, it was insane. The story is completely insane. Let's see here. Tomorrow, 3-minute short start. Oh, for YouTube? I did not know that. I have not been paying attention. So they're going the route of Instagram. So trying to compare. Or is it TikTok? Or is it X? I don't know. One of them does 3 minute videos. So I don't know. I could probably do sound bites. So that's just enough for a short trip to the restroom. Let's see. Tiger says you should watch Candace Owens and her dig into Kamala's family background. Oh yes, yes, she is. She may have been born into a middle class family, but they were not middle class people by any stretch of the imagination. Her Jamaican father is a hardcore leftist radical. And I'm, if you start calling her a communist, I personally, with her, I think it's an ends to a means. I'm not sure that she is an ideological true believer, but she knows how do I put this? She knows what will give her power. And that's her entire political career has been searching for power and looking for power. And so this is why dictators and tyrants levitate towards the left side of the political spectrum, because it affords them power and control. And for anybody that's new here, when I talk about the left and right of the political spectrum, I am not talking about Marxists. I'm not talking about liberals and conservatives in the contemporary sense of American politics. What I am talking about is a spectrum of control. So you have, on the left side, you have complete control, and on the right side, you have complete anarchy, no control whatsoever. And every political system and every person in the world falls someplace on that spectrum, right? And so the hardcore Marxists, if you listen to European politics, they talk about the quote unquote far right. But if you look at the far right politics in Europe, they are socialist. They are socialist. So everything that's not hardcore communism is to the right of where these people stand, and that's where I came up with the idea of control. Yeah, I haven't heard. Positions of power attract evil people. That's one of the things I learned through my life, and I've had some very good conversations with people. Anybody who actively looks for positions of power should not be trusted. They should not be in those positions. You should actively try to undermine them so they're not in those positions. And somebody's going to go, oh, look at Trump. Trump's trying to be president again. Trump's got a big narcissistic streak in him. And if Trump were not a businessman, and that's where Trump's power derives from, is being a businessman. And he looks at fixing the United States from a businessman's perspective. That's why some of the stuff he did his first term really upset people, because it was not by any means conservative. I mean, some of his gun control stuff and the tariffs and all that stuff, really not conservative. But if you look at it, that he's a businessman, they all make perfect sense. And his governing style made perfect sense. He made some decisions in placing people in positions of influence that he even admits today he would do over again. But everything he did, he was trying to run it like a business. And the one thing that I don't know if you could say he forgot it or he just didn't realize it until it was too late, is that the people that are in the United States government don't necessarily want the business to succeed. What they want is the portion that they control to succeed. And if that means destroying another portion of it, then they have no problem. If it means demonizing 50% of the country, they will do it in a heartbeat so that they're in control and they have power, right? So I think I'm hoping that he learned his lesson, and if he does by some miracle make it into the position of president again, that he does things a little bit differently, takes his lessons learned. Tiger Rabbit wants to know if you tripped over the dog, or no, a friend of his wants to know if you tripped over the dog again. Yeah. What's the line out of Mad Max? If he had a big heart, if they cut his heart out, they bury him in a shoebox. Hey, local prepper showed up. Guys, listen. If you're gonna be in the Bowling Green area of Kentucky the last weekend in October, Kentucky Sustainable Living is going on in Western. It's going to be at the Western Kentucky University Horse Arena. I guess that's what it's called. But it's right there. It's right off the highway. Local Prepper is going to be a speaker there. So if you want to come out and get some really good info on prepping, you might want to show up. Tickets are really inexpensive. You get a day pass, or you can get a several day pass. Angela is going to be teaching a Canning 101 class on Friday, and Chuck Peoples from Homestead Medical is going to be giving his wound care class on Friday as well. You guys can sign up for that. It costs a little bit more money, but they always give good classes on at KSL and Midwest Preparedness and Self-Reliance Festival. All right, Randy, you 4 a.m. does come early. You go get some sleep, man. Let's see here. Let's go. Let's see. Lynn's still talking on the Trump thing. Trump didn't realize that DC is all vipers. He thought people around him cared about what he cared about. Hopefully, lesson learned. Exactly. Okay, so local prepper speaks on Sunday, but he recommend you there for all weekend for the classes you can get into. Yep. And the vibe at Kentucky Sustainable is more of a homesteadish type vibe, but they realize that prepping is an integral part of running a homestead. So you've got prepping, you've got homesteading, they've got vendors there. Grandma's chicken tractors or whatever they call, they were there, and then they've got the Kubota tractor guy there. It's a good thing. Let's see here. Oh man. Okay, guys, listen, we've been at this for an hour and 20 minutes so far. One last call. Do you guys got any final topics you want to discuss? Anything we can go over? We got some really good people. Anti shows up right at the last minute. As I'm calling for final call on topics. Here comes Anti. How you doing, man? How you doing? Oh, I'll give you a topic. I will give you a topic. It's October. And I literally watch more movies in October than I do all the rest of the year because I love scary movies. I love them. I just good quality horror movies. Notice I said good quality horror movies. The horror movies they make nowadays are turds. They are complete. Most of them are complete turds. But we got Roku, and Tubi is a free streaming channel on the Roku. They've got all the old classic 1980s and early 90s horror movies for free. If you are a horror nut like I am, you can go watch them and just be scared to your heart's content. Oh, Sam's having a town ordinance removed. Got the whole town mad at the mayor. What's the ordinance? Can you tell it in 140 characters or less? But I'll tell you what, folks. Yeah, M's right. Go Sam. This is what we need to do as community members. Get involved in politics and start making changes. Start getting stuff changed. The smaller the town, the easier it is. You know. Oh, Dario Argento, absolutely. No livestock on properties less than 2 acres. Let me guess. They were calling chickens livestock too, weren't they? Hey, if you got 2 acres, man, you could get yourself a miniature dairy cow. You could raise rabbits. You got your chickens. You could raise several thousand pounds of veggies a year. She's currently going after 2 horses and my next door neighbor's goats. There you go. Get them, Sam. Get them. Speaking of goats, we are going to actually get a couple of goats butchered and processed by USDA standards so that we can start selling them at festivals. We did the powwow last spring, and a lot of the Indian tribes from the southeast really like goat's meat. So we were like, yeah, we can do this. We got some goats that need to be butchered. So we're gonna try our hands at goat tacos and goat enchiladas. Personally, not a big fan. Not a big fan of goats. I think I said it last week. I had goat when I was in the Middle East, and I had goat in Mexico. Neither one of those places knows how to cook meat. Well, I take that back. They don't know how to cook goat. Not a big fan. So I guess I just need somebody to cook it right. Let's see. Goat jerky? Yeah, maybe. Saw oversaturated me on horror. No thanks. Oh, the movie Saw, the Saw thing. Yeah, I not a big fan of that torture porn stuff. Saw and the Hostel movies and all those. Yeah, just not a huge fan of that type of horror. I posted about upcoming meetings about the ordinance. People are pissed. After the ordinance is removed, we're going to see if we can remove the mayor. There you go. Put her on notice. Put her on notice. You'd be amazed when you put them on notice how their attitude changes, and she might start doing stuff properly. Rabid prefers lamb. One thing I found out from the lamb, a lot of people, quote unquote, don't like it, and they don't like it because they've never had it, or if they've had it, they've never had it prepared properly. If you prepare lamb properly, it is some of the finest meat in the world. There's a reason why a rack of lamb is $26 a pound. All right, because it is good stuff. Goat is actually good if prepared by a qualified chef. Well, Angela's a good cook, so if she makes it, I will give it a try, and it will probably be good. Had goat and camel in Saudi, not good, probably because it was cooked for hundreds instead of a small group. Yeah, overcooked. Sam does not want the mayor's attitude to change. He wants her to tread harder. Makes it easy for her to get out. Well, there you go. Threaten her, and maybe she'll go all Gretchen Whitmer on you and become a little she-wolf Nazi. Lamb is right up there with me. I have never had moose. I've had elk, but I've never had moose. Tiger says goat is delicious. Well, millions of people around the world like it. So, I mean, I think it goes back to what was said up there. If what haven't heard said, cooked properly, it's probably good. Probably really good. Sam, Gregory's asking what the big problem with the animals is. Why she's got a problem with it. Antelope. That's some good stuff. There's a place in Denver, Colorado that serves nothing but quote unquote exotic meat. It's all farm raised, but they do the antelope, the moose, the elk, and all that stuff. Moose is less gamey than elk. We were up in New Hampshire a lot, and we just never got a chance to try moose. Speed goat. I'm not quite sure what that is. Let's see here. So one person complained, so she's just doing it because it's the law. Gotcha. Because we know we got, and it was probably a friend of hers that complained too. Yeah, be careful, Sam. M's got a point. You press her too hard, she might fake her kidnapping. You can end up like in a room with 12 FBI informants, and you're the only non-FBI person there. So just be careful. Oh, antelopes are speed goats. Okay, gotcha. I'm tracking. Oh, you guys. Okay, we can't go too deeply into hunting talk because that is something that I do not get to do enough of. You know, all the guys I hung out with at the old house, all avid hunters, and we would get together and have the best time during deer season. That's not really the culture here, at least not with the group I'm in. So I don't get to talk and I don't get to hunt like I used to, and I could go on for hours, but I don't want to do that. We used to hunt antelope in western Nebraska in the Sandhills. I want to go out. I want to go out into western Kansas. They've got antelope out there, and do that. Someday, when I've got this place all fixed up and I can become a man of leisure. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Although some serious talk came up about a hunting trip to Texas next summer. It may actually happen. I've got people that are actually interested in doing it, and we may actually take a trip down to Texas and go hog hunting. So cross your fingers. Hope the world does not come apart between now and then, and it works. Yeah, going hog hunting. Got a couple of Starla offered property that she knows about, and got a couple of community members that have family that lives down there that have hog problems. So it may be a trip. I was telling them all we need is a place to lay our heads and a place to process the animals before we take them home. And everything else, we can take care of everything else. But all right, guys, listen. Been at this an hour and a half. It's about as long as I like to go. I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. Everybody that's new to the channel, first time coming in here, thank you very much. We say this all the time. The people that subscribe to our channel are why we do this now. Sharing our message with everybody and trying to instill the idea that our liberties are more important than what people tell us they are, and that we have more control over it is paramount going forward. And the more people we get involved in this, the more input we get, and the more vibrant and resilient our online community becomes. I don't know if the new people noticed it, but there's a lot of people in the chat that have a lot of really good experience, and they're more than willing to share it. In fact, we didn't even have the entire brain trust here tonight, but it's a good community, and the message that we're sharing with everybody is important. And we talk about some fun stuff. We never thought we'd talk about a former nudist colony in our live update, but here we are tonight talking about a nudist colony in Missouri, right? So that's what it's about. Let's see here. Don't forget to thank you, Lynn. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. Let's see. I'm gonna get out. We're gonna try something new. Try something new tonight. So it's actually going to be a Without Rule of Law commercial, but they have put intro videos and outro videos into StreamYard, and I wanted to play around with it tonight, and I wanted to see how it worked and see what you guys thought. So after the video's done, tell me what you think about it, about the idea, not necessarily the video, but the idea. Put it down in the comments, and I will see you guys later, and hopefully Yoda's feeling better next time we do a live. All right, guys. In a world without rule of law, where society hangs by a thread and chaos reigns supreme, there emerges a beacon of survival and strength. Introducing Without Rule of Law, a deck of 300 emergency preparedness survival scenarios to help people navigate this lawless realm. They cover survival topics from self-defense to resource management strategies and more. Get on the same frame of mind as those around you.
Tough times never last, but tough people do.